Hello and welcome to all my old friends and the new ones as well. And I'm so glad you chose to stop by my art channel today. I have planned a fun project for you, and that is painting a mauve rose with acrylic colors and then turning it into a bookmark. The materials used for today's project are all listed over here. And it would be great if you would like to paint along with me. So let's get started. In chapter 1, we are going to plan the base of the painting. These are some of my older floral paintings which I have already uploaded as tutorials on my art channel. These floral paintings are based on stroke method. It's a very interesting technique and it is generally used for decorative painting purposes. Now this particular panel which you see, I'm going to create a similar kind of rose on this panel today. So in the next chapter, I will be demonstrating how to paint the mauve rose on the panel. So here are some of the things which I would be using. The first one is a flow enhancer. Next comes a bowl of water. Then I have these brushes, Plaid brushes number 5, and there are 2 liner brushes as well. I would be using an acrylic sheet as the palette, and here are the colors: white acrylic, mauve and deep magenta. Alright, so now the panel is around 3 inches by 8 inches in size, and it has been stenciled with purple and green colors. I bring in the brushes once again: liner brush, filbert brush, and this is a flat brush number 5. I might use the filbert brush, but I'm not sure at this point of time. So how do we load the colors on the flat brush? So here I've taken my flat brush number 5 and I'm dipping the corners in white and deep magenta and a bit of mauve as well. So you can see there are 3 colors on the same brush. I blend the colors well and that will help me to get very good results. Alright, so I bring in my flat brush number 5 with a bit of mauve in it, and I'm just creating a very loose form of the rose. Nothing specific here. I'm just adding a bit of deep magenta at the bottom to create the bowl of the rose, and then I went ahead and loaded the brush with white on one side and a bit of mauve and magenta on the other. So here I've started creating the petals of the rose in stroke painting method. Now what exactly is this method? So it is a technique that involves loading the brush with 2 or 3 separate colors and achieving shading, highlighting and blending in a single stroke movement. It's a very interesting technique, and once you learn how to do it, there's no looking back. So here you can see I'm trying to create the inner layers of the central part of the rose, and I'm using a very light hand. Certain times I just use the corner of the brush, and at other times I will use the brush fully flat on the surface. This method helps to create some very interesting and intricate designs, and it is especially useful for floral paintings. At least I find it very useful. And this is my favorite method of painting florals. Alright, so this is a little bowl of the flow enhancer, and I just dip in the brush ever so lightly into it, and it helps the acrylic colors to keep moist for a longer period of time. So they are easy to move when the acrylic colors mix with the flow enhancer. So essentially it's retarding the time of drying of the acrylic colors. Here I'm trying to create the lower petals, and they are larger in size, and since I do not have any sketch to follow, so I need to just go along with the painting and keeping the proportions in mind. We need to remember that every time we need to create a petal, we have to load the brush, because acrylic colors dry fast even with the use of flow enhancers. Alright, so in the next step, I'm bringing my liner brush with a lot of acrylic white on it, and here I'm trying to highlight certain portions of the rose, especially the edges of some of the petals. Do you notice that the inner portion of the rose seems to pop out because of the white intricate lining which I have added to the edges of the inner core of the rose. I continue with the highlighting of the edges, and this is actually the best part because it helps to bring it to life, and I'm sure you agree with me on that point. I go ahead and create some of the very fine layers in the sanctum sanctorum of the rose. We should always use a very light hand when we are trying to make these thin lines. Once I'm happy with the mauve rose, I move on to the next chapter, and that being painting the leaves. So here are some of the colors which I would be using. Let's go through the brushes once more. Flat brush number 2, flat brush number 5, and liner. I have sap green, olive green, burnt umber, turquoise blue and white acrylic on my palette, and I've gone ahead and loaded the flat brush number 5 with sap green, a bit of white, and then I went ahead and added a bit of turquoise. And we can add more colors as and when required, and every time you'll get a very surprising and a beautiful color on the brush. Before painting the leaves, I bring in my flat brush number 2, and I have a bit of olive green on it, and I'm just painting around the edges of some of the petals, not all the petals here. As I move away from the edges, I've added a bit of the flow enhancer to olive green to make it lighter. Can you see that? Alright, so at this point I bring in my golden yellow color, and I've added it to the mix of white and sap green on flat brush number 5 to create some pretty leaves. Do you like them? Well, I do. I mean, leaves make me feel so good. Simply painting a leaf can brighten up your day. That is how I am. And the leaves, with the help of stroke painting, come out to be really, really pretty. They actually look so real, with so much of blending of the colors, because you never know what is going to be the result of the colors which you've loaded on the brush. So every time it's a pleasant surprise. At this point, I have added a bit of turquoise green to the mix of greens and white on the flat brush number 5. And the leaf which comes out of that blend is awesome. Alright, now next I bring in my liner brush with a bit of, what is that called? Burnt umber on it. Yeah, so I'm using the burnt umber on a liner brush to create the stems. And this one is jutting out on the top. And it'll have a little bud which will come a little later. So here I'm trying to create the branches with burnt umber on a liner brush. Here comes the bud. For that I'm using the flat brush number 5, a bit of mauve and white, along with a pinch of deep magenta. I go ahead and do certain adjustments with the colors until I am satisfied with the look of the bud. There is actually no fixed method of doing anything. It's all trial and error in painting, but believe me, everything looks good. So there's no right or wrong really. You should do whatever makes you happy. Alright, so I'm trying to create some contrast here. And I've added a bit of fine white lines just to create a bit of interest. Well, I think this looks better now. And friends, in case you have any queries or you want to put down your thoughts regarding this painting or any other painting on my channel, please feel free to do so. And it would be a great pleasure to read your comments, your thoughts on my paintings. And if you would like to know more about this particular technique of painting, please go ahead and write down in the comments below. Next, I bring in my flat brush number 5. And it is loaded with sap green, a bit of turquoise green and white. And here I'm creating small leaves. I hope you like them because they are actually looking nice in real life. I don't know how much my camera is able to catch it. So once I'm done with the panel, I go ahead and turn this into a bookmark. I also went ahead and added a little sentiment on the top, added a ribbon, and here is the finished bookmark. And that completes today's project. So dear friends, hope you had fun watching me create the Mauve Rose on a bookmark. It would also be great to be in touch with you on my social media handles. Feel free to drop in your comments, your thoughts, and anything else that you would like me to know. And yes, as always, thanks for watching till the end. We'll be back very soon with more interesting floral video tutorials. Till then, please take care and bye-bye.